is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
It's Tuesday, July 21st, and right now on Good Morning Indiana.
Makes it an obstacle, and what we don't need right now are obstacles.
The decision to close parts of Mass Ave was originally met with some sharp criticism.
It has been nice to have a pedestrian-friendly Mass Ave this summer.
This morning, why some business owners are now seeing the closure in a different way.
I don't think you can do too much when you're trying to protect students.
In the near future, students will be heading back to class, and that includes college students. Working for you, we're looking at how university officials are preparing for students to be back on campus.
There are certainly families across our city facing crisis.
Thousands of Hoosiers are still having trouble paying their rent. The option Indianapolis leaders are considering to help more residents in need. Plus, if you're looking to get in on a big sale, you may be searching harder than normal. This morning, we're looking at why big sales will be harder to come by so you don't waste your money. And here at 6:02, we want to welcome you into Good Morning Indiana. I'm Lauren Casey. My colleagues Raphael and Todd are working from home again today. Good morning to you guys, and Raphael, good morning down in Johnson County.
Lauren, good morning to you. Always great way to start the morning with you and Todd. And Todd, you're looking right now at a quiet radar, but there's some pending storms on the horizon. Fill us in on that.
Yeah, you know, especially as we get into the afternoon and then the evening hours, Raphael, during the peak heating of the day and then kind of towards sunset. I think that's when the strongest storms will kind of flare up across central Indiana. A lot of that's going to be dependent on how much sunshine we see the first half of the day. The more sunshine we see, the better potential for those strong to severe storms on an isolated basis this afternoon. I don't think everybody's going to see them. The view from downtown to the north right now shows the sunrise. We had some heavier rain, nothing severe over towards Richmond earlier this morning. That has moved out. You do notice some storms in southern Illinois that are starting to approach. Just a few lingering showers here just south of Richmond now, and that is just about it. Otherwise, partly cloudy skies. The showers you see in southern Illinois, they're starting to fall apart as expected, but a few of those scattered showers this morning could sneak into western portions of the area. But we're really focusing on later on this afternoon and this evening for those stronger storms. Temperatures today in the mid-80s. We'll talk about the severe threat in more detail for you coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Todd, let's take a look right now south of the downtown area. This is I-65, a view near Keystone Avenue, part of a major construction project we've been monitoring. Keep in mind, we still have some traffic shifting in place as you're in the northbound side. Southbound, we actually have an extra lane restricted due to this construction project today. So keep that in mind as you're heading out there on the south side. And let's take a look at our traffic now, Matt, because we are still monitoring a crash cleanup right now on the south side. This crash is at US 31 and I-465. So as you're traveling westbound on I-465, the exit ramp to US 31 at East Street is closed at this hour, and then southbound US 31 is closed between the I-465 ramps and that first street there, Thompson Road. So if you're traveling in the westbound direction on 465, looking to get off and head south, you'll need to go all the way over to Harding Street, take that southbound to reroute. And if you're on US 31 heading southbound this morning, you can reroute over to Meridian Street, maybe head around back of the movie theater out that way, and then you can continue on your southbound route. We'll continue to monitor this scene and keep you updated throughout the morning. Raphael?
Lauren, the road to recovery in Indianapolis has generated both criticism and praise. Retailers on Mass Avenue had their street closed to generate shopping and, of course, outdoor dining. Our Kelsey Anderson is live this morning on Mass Avenue with what shop owners are saying now. Kelsey, good morning to you.
Hey, good morning, Raphael. So like you said, this road has been closed since mid-May, and it did come with some standoffishness from, I guess, some retailers. But you can see now here, especially at Silver in the City, they're embracing this new normal. They are turning this area into a community area. They've got seating outside, and they're hoping that even though cars can't drive by throughout the day, at least they're getting that sense of community. Kristen Cohn is the owner of Silver in the City, and after seeing the pedestrian-friendly plan in action, she's found an appreciation for the once unwelcome change. Her shop now features a sitting area where cars would normally park, and the names of Black Americans fueling the Black Lives Matter movement are what customers see as they walk in.
Having the streets closed allowed us to connect more as members of the community, and as people came out to protest and in support of Black Lives Matters, and as businesses started putting up boards, again, showing their support. But the conversations that we've been able to have, because so many people came and walked and biked.
She says while she is able to connect more with the community, sales are still 50% for the year, and she's still hoping she and other business owners can crawl out of the hole created by the pandemic. Now, because businesses and restaurants are buying into this new plan, the city has decided to keep these roads closed for another month until Labor Day. That is here on Mass Ave, Georgia Street, and Broad Ripple Avenue. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, RTV 6.
Kelsey, thank you. Starting on Friday, wearing a mask will be mandatory in one Hamilton County city. The Fishers Health Department Board approved a mask mandate late Monday night that requires everyone to wear a mask over their nose and mouth while inside public places and also while outdoors if social distancing is not possible. It does not apply to those 5 years old or younger or those with specific health conditions. You can find more details on the new regulations by downloading the RTV6 mobile app.
This morning, here's a closer look at how the COVID-19 pandemic is really impacting our state. Let's take a look at the numbers. The State Department of Health says 658 new cases of COVID-19 were reported on Monday. Since the pandemic began, more than 57,000 Hoosiers have been diagnosed with the coronavirus. The Department of Health also confirms 3 new COVID-19 deaths in Indiana. So far, more than 2,600 people in our state have died from the virus. Here's a deeper look at other numbers this morning. State health officials say 36% of the state's ICU beds are available. Of the ICU beds being used, COVID-19 patients are using more than 10% of those ICU beds. Non-COVID-19 patients are using about 53% of the beds. And right now, more than 82% of the state's ventilators are also available. Lauren?
And Raphael, here at 6:08, as schools prepare to welcome students back, we know colleges and universities are also coming up with their safety plans to help get education ramped back up on their campuses. Our Alyssa Donovan has all the details.
Many colleges and universities still have a few weeks before they welcome back students to campus, but in the meantime, they're preparing their safety measures amid the pandemic.
We've been hearing from young people and their parents for months. Please find a way to make it possible. We want to come. We don't want to stop our education.
Purdue University President Mitch Daniels says around 88% of students have opted to return to campus, while 12% of undergrads have opted for online classes due to either safety reasons or travel bans. The university is taking many safety measures, purchasing more than a mile of plexiglass that will be used to separate professors and their students. They've also designated 500 beds for those who need to quarantine.
I don't think you can do too much when you're trying to protect students, and in our case especially faculty and staff and others who might be more vulnerable than most of our students will be.
Students heading to Purdue's campus will be required to be tested for COVID-19. Other Indiana universities are laying out similar plans. IU is also requiring students to get tested. Those planning to attend class at the Bloomington campus must get tested within 10 days of arriving. At other IU locations, students will only be required to get tested if they're moving into the dorms. Ball State is adding more classes in the evenings to allow for smaller class sizes. And anyone who's on campus will be required to wear a face mask or a shield at all times, unless they're alone in a workspace or working behind a plexiglass barrier. Daniels says those involved in higher education are exchanging ideas and asking questions to ensure schools are doing the best they can to provide safe learning environments.
Nobody can say for certain that we can make this work. Plans have been changing in country after country, state after state, but it's the right thing to try to do. We're going to do literally everything that we think might make it any safer or more successful.
I'm Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
Alyssa, thank you so much. As we continue to cover education, the Lawrence Township School District in Marion County in Indianapolis is the latest school district to announce it is delaying the start of their school year. The school board voted unanimously to move the first day for students now to August the 13th. School was originally scheduled to start on August the 3rd. During their Monday night meeting, a school leader said the extra time will help staff members get accustomed to safety changes.
It is 6:11 on your Tuesday, and a Fishers police officer has filed a federal lawsuit claiming the city never paid him for more than 1,000 hours that he worked off the clock. Robert Bowling worked as a school resource officer. The lawsuit alleges that Bowling was assigned to special projects and was told to work off the clock after he was disciplined for not completing his regular duties in a timely manner. The lawsuit accuses the city of Fishers of violating the Fair Labor Standards Act. RTV6 has reached out to Fishers police and the city regarding this lawsuit. We are still waiting to hear back. Bowling was placed on leave from the police department last year amid allegations of ghost employment. Indiana State Police investigated, and the Hamilton County Prosecuting Attorney's Office reviewed that case. They did not file criminal charges against Bowling. However, Fishers Police is moving forward with terminating him from the department.
Extended unemployment benefits for thousands of Hoosiers will end next week. New at 6:15, I take a look at what happens next for those who depend on those critical dollars. But first, let's check your forecast this morning with Todd Clausen. Good morning, TK.
Raphael, good morning to you. It's pretty quiet right now all across central Indiana, but there will be rain chances virtually almost at any point throughout the day today. And you can see they kind of ramp up as we get into the afternoon and evening hours. They should be pretty spotty in nature. That's the good news. You don't have to cancel your plans today, but just know you may have to alter them a little bit as we get into the afternoon and evening. I'll use TrueCast to show you the hour-by-hour timeline coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues right here on RTV6.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. As you know, thousands of Hoosiers are collecting unemployment. The Rebound Indiana is committed to helping you get beyond this pandemic. The extra $600 that people have been receiving in benefits will be paid for the last time next week, unless Congress takes immediate action on this critical issue. That means that everyone currently receiving unemployment benefits will only get to collect the maximum state benefit. That benefit totals $390 a week. Now, this includes workers that collected unemployment for the first time under the Federal CARES Act. Now, this all comes as the latest unemployment rate in Indiana for the month of June is 11.2%, which translates into thousands of people without work. Several industries are making a comeback as the state slowly reopens. Now, some people were called back to their jobs in hospitality as well as private education and health services. And as we reported just days ago, of course, there are going to be some layoffs in the area of hotels because of the impact in that workforce. The loss of $600 is an economic setback.
The loss of those $600 per week, if it happens, is going to be a shock to the way that people budget and the way that they make this trade-off between, the choices that they've made during the pandemic and the work opportunities that are available to them. And so in that regard, I would just continue to encourage people to use the other resources we have. The Department of Workforce Development also has resources to help connect people with training and help connect them with jobs.
Now, WorkWhat offices can help you, connect you with jobs and training, but if you go to those offices, they cannot provide you any information about your unemployment benefits. Lauren?
And Raphael, the city of Indianapolis is considering a second round of rental assistance to help people rebound from this economic crisis caused by the pandemic.
There are certainly families across our city facing crisis, and some who are now on a waiting list for this program. So we know that even despite our best efforts to size a program that was meaningful, it's not enough to meet the need across the community.
The program for Marion County residents started taking applications 1 week ago. Officials say they received 10,000 in just 3 days. Because of the high volume of applications, those requests are now temporarily suspended. Now, this does not mean that help is no longer available.
And as we get further into the application processing over the next couple of weeks, we hope to be able to reopen and take some of the folks off the waiting list because there are still funds available in this round.
You're asked to go to indyrent.org and click on the link and share your contact information, and that'll put you on the waiting list. If you live outside of Marion County, the state is offering a similar rental assistance program. You can apply by going to indianahousingnow.org or by calling 844-463-7368. The time right now is 6:18 on our Tuesday. Let's check in with Todd Clausen. Hey, Todd.
Lauren, good morning to you. Good morning, everybody. Your Tuesday is not a washout. I know there's thunderstorms in the forecast, and you may have to dodge them a little bit later on this afternoon, but there's a lot of dry hours for you to be able to get out and about and do things, including here this morning. As you can see, some clouds off in the distance, but in the immediate area, downtown Indianapolis, plenty of sunshine. And we'll start off today partly cloudy, and then we'll kind of keep it partly sunny throughout the afternoon hours as we'll start to build in some cloud cover and the chance of some rain. 73 right now in Bloomington, 72 is the current temperature in Indianapolis. We had some heavy rainfall earlier this morning over in the Richmond area. That has now moved out. You notice the clearing skies here from Indianapolis down to the south, a little more in the way of clouds to the north. We also have this batch of light rain in Illinois that's weakening as it's making its way towards Indiana. So it's not out of the question. Western locations this morning, you could get into a spot shower up towards Lafayette as well, but most of the heavy rainfall has come to an end, as you see there in Richmond, as that heavy band of rain moves off into Illinois. There's a little bit of heavier shower activity back towards Quincy and into northern Missouri. And the overall weather pattern, to be honest with you, is just very unsettled here the next couple days. And that's because there's a front that's just kind of lingering across the area. And that front serves as a mechanism for these thunderstorms to develop throughout the course of the day. Now, you notice there's not a whole lot going on through early afternoon, and then once we get into the later afternoon hours, we'll start to build in the chance of some storms. Then overnight, that heavier band of rain will start to make its way through the area. So just like yesterday, I think there'll be some spotty storms around in the afternoon hours. We'll get maybe a few heavier bands of rain, and it's not a guarantee that heavier rain will be severe, but there will be the potential. And then throughout the afternoon hours tomorrow, as you see on TrueCast here, we're dealing with just some spotty showers that will be around. Now, the greatest threat for severe weather today will include damaging wind. We are under the marginal risk for severe weather. And I'll put the time frame for you between 3 p.m. and about midnight tonight. I think once we get past midnight, there could be some heavier rain moving through and some lightning, but the severe threat at that point should have diminished. Scattered storms in the forecast through Friday with temperatures pretty consistent in the mid to upper 80s. Less in the way of rain chances over the weekend, just about a stray storm with high temperatures that'll get back up to right around 90 degrees for Saturday, Sunday, and also on Monday. Lauren?
Todd, thank you. Let's take a look right now at traffic as you're heading out on the roads this Tuesday morning. 65 in Keystone Avenue. This is south of the downtown area where we have that ongoing construction in the right lane. So they do have the northbound traffic shifted over to the left side of the interstate on the southbound side. Southbound side, we have another lane blocked today. Keep that in mind. Just take it slow as you head through that area, but everything looks to be traveling up to speed. Let's take you out to our traffic now map at this hour. We are monitoring a crash and a closure down here on the south side. Westbound I-465, you won't be able to get off on the ramp to US 31 East Street due to this crash cleanup. And we have the southbound lanes of US 31 closed here south of I-465 between there and Thompson Road. Keep that in mind. You may need to get off on the Harding Street exit if you're looking to reroute in that area. Something else to keep in mind, south side drivers, we have a little bit of construction on southbound I-65 to County Line Road. That exit ramp remains blocked. You'll need to use Main Street as a detour. Now, the new Cheetah Chase water coaster is now launching at Holiday World and Splash and Safari. You can be one of the first people to ride it, all thanks to Good Morning Indiana. This morning, it's your chance to win a pair of ticket vouchers to the parks, and all you have to do is be the sixth caller right now. That number's on your screen. Get ready. It's 317-269-1459. Good luck. The time right now is 6:22 on your Tuesday. We'll be right back. It is 6:25. Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. Raphael, it's time to talk about what's trending at 6.
So, Lauren, going to the beach can be fun, enjoying the sunrises, the sunsets, building sand castles. But there's one problem when you hear this: shark. Shark! Yes. Not a good thing. Most people get out of the water when they hear the word shark in the water. But when an off-duty police officer, Adrian Kasicki, noticed a shark approaching a boy, he jumped into the water to rescue the child. The officer darted into the water, grabbed the boy's boogie board, and guided that child to safety. Both the officer and the boy appear to be fine following the incident. Thank goodness to have that first responder on hand.
Yes.
Wow.
Always scary. All right, a team of high school girls in Afghanistan have built a prototype ventilator they hope will fill the country's desperate need. 18-year-old Samaya Faruqi and 6 others from the Afghan girls robotics team made this machine with the available materials based on a design from MIT. They say this will cost about $700 to produce. So, Raphael, that's compared to $20,000 price tag for a traditional ventilator. Yeah.
Okay.
So this still needs to undergo some testing before it can be put to use, but if it works, wow, that's incredible.
Hashtag girl power right there. Girl power.
That's awesome.
On this Tuesday, more girl power. A shout out to Amber Smith of Indianapolis. She's our hometown hero today here at WRTV 6. She's a home healthcare aide. Amber is among the many essential workers who can't stay home, and we appreciate all that they do. The time now is to check your forecast with our very own Todd Clausen. Good morning, TK.
Hey, Raphael, good morning to you. Temperature's not bad this morning. We're in the 60s and 70s. If you're thinking about heading outdoors and taking that walk or maybe some of that sunrise yoga that some of the studios offer here across central Indiana, you're in great shape. Temperatures are going to be in the 60s and 70s here this morning. You can see with partly cloudy skies here in the metro area. We had some heavier showers earlier this morning over in Wayne County. They have now come to an end. We will build back in, though, the chance of storms as we get into the afternoon and evening hours. And if we see enough sunshine throughout the day today, which I think we will, there will be the potential that some of these storms this evening could be borderline strong to severe on a spotty basis. I do not think it is widespread. The main threat with some of these storms as they develop later on today would be the potential for some damaging wind. Your high today gets up to 85 degrees.
Todd, thank you. If you are a big sale shopper and notice something's missing this month, you aren't alone. Amazon Prime Day should have been last week. Working for you, John Mattery shows how it's not the only big sales event that may get scrubbed, and this is also you don't waste your money.
Late July is usually a time for great sales on school supplies and, of course, Amazon Prime Day. But have you noticed? Some of them are missing this year. Amazon Prime Day has become a summer tradition the last 6 years, but this year it's canceled, or at least postponed till sometime in October. Amazon says due to the pandemic, it doesn't want a flood of orders for non-essential items. Back-to-school sales are also a little light right now, with many mall stores still closed. You can't have a sale if the lights aren't on. And even some fun sales, like National Cow Day at Chick-fil-A, have been canceled this year to avoid crowds. That means if you show up dressed like a chicken, you'll get funny looks, but no free sandwich. The issue with big sale events is they tend to draw big crowds, which is why Black Friday could also be an issue this year. You might have to work harder to find those great deals so you don't waste your money. I'm John Mattery. Good morning, Indiana.
This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Now on Good Morning Indiana on this Tuesday morning, here's a look at your 6:30 news feed. Investigators say they do suspect foul play in the death of an inmate at a state prison. 57-year-old Kevin Carpenter was found unresponsive in his cell on Sunday morning at the Wabash Valley Correctional Facility out in Sullivan County, that's south of Terre Haute. An autopsy is pending.
More schools delaying the start of classes due to the pandemic. On Monday, Lawrence Township Schools in Indianapolis became the latest Marion County School District to announce a delay. Classes there will now begin on August the 13th, 10 days later than planned. In Hancock County, Mount Vernon Community Schools will hold off on starting their school year until August the 17th. Mount Vernon's school year had been scheduled to begin July the 29th.
Well, the NFL has offered to cancel all preseason games in response to players' concerns about COVID-19 in training camps. Players would still have to approve this proposal. The league and the players' union did agree to more COVID-19 testing during the camps that are scheduled to begin next week. As of Friday, 72 players have tested positive for COVID-19.
The Indy Shorts International Film Festival will go on as planned, but you don't have to leave your home to be a part of it. The festival that features the best in short films is now going virtual. It will offer more than 100 short films that you can watch now online. The festival also says they will show films at the Tibbs Drive-In.
Well, if you're a fan of the mountain music or laid it down on love, you'll have to wait a little bit longer to see Alabama at Bankers Life Fieldhouse. The country music legends have canceled their 50th anniversary concert that was set to go on stage October 15th. That's been rescheduled for April 8th of 2021. If you've had tickets to the October show, they will still be good next year.
Good morning to Greenwood. Good morning to Muncie and Noblesville, and welcome to Good Morning Indiana on this Tuesday. And Lord, I'm sure that Todd is a little upset because he's a major country music fan.
Yes, Todd and I both love some country music, Raphael, so we'll get you into it. You'll learn. All right, well, Todd, we do want to get a check of that forecast for our Tuesday. Maybe people are going to head outside, sit out by the pool, and listen to some music today.
Yeah, and I did have tickets to that concert. I think this is about the third time that concert's been postponed.
Yeah.
I think it was supposed to happen January of last year, so just have to wait a little bit longer, I guess, for a little mountain music. All right, outside right now, we're dealing with pretty quiet conditions as we have some sunshine across central Indiana. Some areas a little more in the way of cloud cover as you look from downtown to the north. The further north you are, that's where there's a little more in the way of the cloud cover. But overall, we're in decent shape here this morning. There was some heavy rain this morning over towards the Richmond area. That's moved off into Ohio. You see some spotty showers making their way towards the Terre Haute area, but that's really starting to fall apart across the area. And then more rain back off to the west, even further near Quincy, Illinois. So overall, it's a pretty unsettled day. Most of the day is going to be dry with partly cloudy skies, but there will be the opportunity for showers and storms to develop throughout the course of the afternoon and evening hours on a spotty basis. And once we get past 4 p.m., some of those storms, Lauren, could be strong to severe.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Let's take a look at traffic as you're heading out the road right now. This is I-65 and Keystone Avenue, where we have that bridge work going on. The northbound traffic shifting in the southbound lanes. We have one lane restricted this morning as you're heading out there, but everything looks to be traveling smoothly both northbound and southbound. So just pay attention and watch for crews. It's always a pretty active construction zone there south of downtown. We do have a few other ramp closures and some construction going on, so we'll keep you updated throughout the rest of the morning on what you need to avoid. Raphael?
And now to the road to recovery here in Indianapolis. For months now, streets have been shut down in popular areas of Indianapolis to allow for more outdoor dining during this pandemic, Lauren, as well as for shopping.
Yeah, so now there's some talk that those street closures could continue long after the pandemic is over. Our Kelsey Anderson is joining us live this morning from Mass Ave. And Kelsey, what are the shop owners there saying?
Hey, good morning, Raphael and Lauren. So when these roads first closed in mid-May, some shop owners were naysayers. They thought it wasn't a good idea and just another hurdle they had to get over. And we talked to Silver in the city, and you can see here, she's embracing this community culture now, and she's got seating out here for people to socialize on at a distance where cars should be parked. So we talked to Kristen Cohn, who's the owner of Silver in the city. And when these streets closed in mid-May, she says she was worried for her business and thought this is just another hurdle in our way to coming back from COVID-19. But after seeing the pedestrian-friendly plan in action, she's found an appreciation for the once unwelcome change. Her shop now features a sitting area where cars would normally park. While the new sense of community is welcome, Cohn says the street closures haven't saved every business.
It's hard to say what the closure impact has been on business. We have no idea what business would have been like if the streets were open. I would say that retailers are still hurting in a very big way. Our annual sales at our stores are still down 50% for the year.
After seeing more buy-in from businesses and restaurants, the city is extending the street closure on Mass Ave, Georgia Street, and Broad Ripple Avenue again, this time until Labor Day. Now, Cohn says you can't see the full effects of if this street closure works, but she says the one thing it is giving all of us is a sense of community. She says that's something we really need right now in the summer of 2020. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, RTV 6.
Kelsey, thank you so much. For a few days, Indiana stopped paying out unemployment as the state really saw a suspicious uptick in the number of people filing for those claims. Now, the payments have resumed, but those dollars have been the target of crooks around the country. Let me share with you some of those headlines. Let's go around the country and just check out these headlines. The state of Maryland has identified more than $500 million going to scam artists. The state of Washington reports recovering $300 million from a fraud ring that used stolen IDs from the 2017 Equifax breach. Indiana has yet to disclose the scope of our impact.
So we don't think that we're exempt from this, but yes, when we did take that time to shut down, we were able to find tens of thousands of claims that were highly suspicious. Now, the other part that's important here is that What that means is that there is something about that claim that shared suspicious factors with other claims. And so we've realized some of these cases that we flagged as potentially suspicious, legitimate individuals have came back and satisfied us that they are the appropriate account owner.
So let's take a look at the big picture this morning. The $600 payments end next Friday, July the 31st, unless extended by Congress. Those eligible for the benefits will be able to apply for state benefits of $390 at least through December. And I'm talking about those in the gig economy that got the money for the first time. They have until December to receive those dollars. Lauren?
Raphael, thanks for breaking that down. Let's take a look at the numbers. COVID-19 cases continue to rise across the country. And here in the Hoosier State, the moving 7-day average of cases is now at the highest level of this entire pandemic. While the number of new cases reported by the state health department was down slightly Monday, the high number of cases from previous days have pushed the daily average to 742. That's one reason the mask mandates are being implemented and why some school districts are delaying the start of classes. Indiana does have more hospital capacity right now than some other states. More than 36% of the state's ICU beds are still available as of now. Governor Holcomb is facing some more calls to enforce a statewide mask mandate. The latest push comes from the newest member of the State House. Democratic Representative Blake Johnson wrote a letter to Governor Holcomb last week requesting the mask mandate. The Indianapolis lawmaker talks about his mother's multiple sclerosis and added a risk factor that she faces for COVID-19. Johnson says, quote, "My question to you is simple. Why does my mother's life and the lives of so many others who are at greater risk of severe illness from COVID-19 matter less than the personal comfort and conveniences of those who refuse to believe science and adhere to the calls to do the right thing," end quote. Holcomb's opponent in November's election also called for a statewide mask mandate earlier this month. Dr. Woody Meyer said on Twitter, quote, "Mask orders are proven to help prevent the spread of COVID and save lives. Indiana is already facing consequences of not mandating one," end quote. On Monday, the city of Fishers actually became the latest to announce that it would require masks in public, and that order takes effect this Friday.
So, Lauren, let's stick to this issue because we're working for you to clear up a misunderstanding about claiming a medical exemption to wearing a mask or a face covering. Now, some are claiming an exemption to a mask via the Americans with Disabilities Act, better known as the ADA. A legal expert says the law mandates that businesses make reasonable accommodations to people with disabilities. But as far as rules requiring face coverings, we're told that if you are not wearing one, store employees can ask you the reason why. Now, if you refuse to answer, they may refuse you entry into that business. Even if you give a legitimate reason to not wear a mask, the law says you can still be refused entry. And here's the key thing. That's because the ADA does not apply if there's a direct threat to someone else's health or safety.
Well, many stores, Raphael, are making customers wear those masks now. Dollar Tree and Family Dollar stores, they're actually relaxing their mask policies. Both chains say they will no longer require shoppers to wear masks, and instead they request it. Nearly 2 weeks ago, their policy made masks mandatory for customers and employees. Dollar Tree and Family Dollar stores rather say that they will require face coverings if they're issued by local governments. The company has not said why they made that change.
Lauren, a number of Hoosiers getting tested for COVID-19 have a key question. Where are my results? Next, a family in quarantine for the mandatory 2 weeks, but who are still waiting to find out if they have the virus. You're watching Good Morning Indiana on RTV6.
Welcome back. If you do have to get a COVID test these days, you may have to wait a little bit longer to find out if you have the coronavirus or not than the people in the past. Some labs across the country are reporting backlogs as the demand right now for testing continues to increase.
So, Lauren, talk about frustration. Working for you, our Megan Santorum spoke to one family who says they've been waiting for their results, not for a couple of days, but for 2 weeks.
The turnaround time for COVID-19 tests may be advertised as 6 to 10 days, but some are finding it takes even longer than that to get results.
We just kind of don't know what to do right now.
Amanda Cook says her daughter went to a CVS in Anderson about 2 weeks ago and got a COVID test after waking up with a sore throat.
In an overabundance of caution, called her employer and explained to them that she had a scratchy throat, so they advised her to stay home and go get a COVID test.
She says that process was smooth.
Very simple to do, got her right in.
But now she says they're stuck waiting on results. Her daughter going almost 2 weeks without being able to work.
Right now it's unpaid. Obviously they are keeping her position open for her. But yeah, she's not getting any pay right now.
She says it's been especially hard on her daughter.
She's a recent college graduate, and her work post-college, she had a contract that already got canceled. So she had to move home and get a part-time job. Now she's not even able to do that.
We reached out to CVS. They tell us patient samples are sent to off-site third-party labs who are then responsible for processing and delivering the results. They said due to an increase in COVID-19 cases in certain areas of the country, there has been an increased demand for tests. That's caused backlogs for the lab. State Health Commissioner Dr. Christina Box addressed the issue at a press conference last week, saying results are taking longer than usual at state-run sites as well. Meanwhile, Cook says they will continue to wait and hope for results soon.
I'm just kind of sad right now because it's weighing on her a lot.
Working for you, Megan Sanctorum, RTV6.
Megan, thank you. Barring any more delays, college students will return to campuses in a matter of weeks. Next, our Alyssa Donovan looks at how schools are getting classrooms and campuses COVID-19 ready. Todd.
As you walk out the door this morning, it's dry across most of central Indiana. Here's a live look from IMS back towards downtown Indianapolis. You do notice a little more in the way of cloud cover, though, this morning. So it's not going to be a perfect pool day out there, but you will have the opportunity to get out. It's definitely going to be warm enough with temperatures in the 80s, but you'll have to be on the lookout for some storms throughout the afternoon hours. We'll talk about those storm chances and the potential for severe weather coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues. The time now is 6:45. Stay with us. We're back in just a couple minutes.
Lauren and I welcome you back to Good Morning Indiana on this Tuesday, and students will soon return to their college or university campuses in just a few short weeks. And more than likely, Lauren, they will notice a big difference.
Yeah, and so our Alyssa Donovan explains that school leaders are preparing to make that transition as safe as possible.
Many colleges and universities still have a few weeks before they welcome back students to campus, but in the meantime, they're preparing their safety measures amid the pandemic. Purdue University President Mitch Daniels says around 88% of students have opted to return to campus, while 12% of undergrads have opted for online classes due to either safety reasons or travel bans. The university is taking many safety measures, purchasing more than a mile of plexiglass that will be used to separate professors and their students. They've also designated 500 beds for those who need to quarantine. Students heading to Purdue's campus will be required to be tested for COVID-19. Other Indiana universities are laying out similar plans. IU is also requiring students to get tested. Those planning to attend class at the Bloomington campus must get tested within 10 days of arriving. At other IU locations, students will only be required to get tested if they're moving into the dorms. Ball State is adding more classes in the evenings to allow for smaller class sizes. And anyone who's on campus will be required to wear a face mask or a shield at all times, unless they're alone in a workspace or working behind a plexiglass barrier. Daniels says those involved in higher education are exchanging ideas and asking questions to ensure schools are doing the best they can to provide safe learning environments.
Nobody can say for certain that we can make this work. Plans have been changing in country after country, state after state, but it's the right thing to try to do. We're going to do literally everything that we think might make it any safer or more successful.
I'm Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
All right, thank you so much, Alyssa. As you walk out the door here on this Tuesday morning, temperatures not bad. We're in the 60s and 70s all across the area. 69 in Martinsville, 72 is the current temperature in Indianapolis. And skies right now are partly to mostly cloudy, but we are mainly dry. That is the good news. We had some heavier rain showers earlier in the morning over in the Richmond area. And you notice a few more showers here off to our southwest near Effingham, Illinois. They're falling apart, though, so that is good news going forward in this forecast, at least for central Indiana. We'll expand out just a little bit more, and you can see that off to our west in Illinois and back into Missouri, there's more storms. And overall, we're just stuck in kind of a stagnant weather pattern the next couple days, one in which we will have a front lingering across the area, and that front's going to act as a trigger mechanism for some showers and storms to develop throughout mainly the afternoon hours. But there's some indications, at least tonight, as I'll show you here on TrueCast in just a second, that some of this rain could linger into the overnight hours. Throughout the morning and the early afternoon, it's nothing more than a spot shower chance. That is it. Do not cancel any plans as we get into the afternoon hours, especially the peak heating of the day with the kids not in school. Many of you may be at pools. Just know that there will be the chance of an isolated thunderstorm or two this afternoon. Obviously, if you hear the thunder or see the lightning, you need to make sure you get into a safe place. But it's really focusing on later tonight, probably a little before sunset and then beyond, for some of these stronger storms to start to make their way in here. And some of them will linger into the overnight hours, although once we get past sunset, there are probably some lightning and also some heavy rainmakers, but we'll probably lose the severe threat, I would think, as we get later into the day, and then some showers will linger into your Wednesday morning. So the Storm Prediction Center on the left-hand side of your screen there has most of the state in the marginal risk for severe weather. The marginal risk is the lowest severe threat that they issue, so that's good news. The highest threat I think we face is going to be the potential for some high winds as we work our way into those evening hours. Not really too concerned about any tornadoes, large hail, or flooding, although there could be some localized flooding in some areas. More ponding on the roadways than anything with some of the heavier downpours. Today with the shower chance and more in the way of cloud cover at times. Temperatures not quite as warm as they have been. Probably looking at highs right around 83 to 85 degrees. And then not much changes Wednesday through Friday. We're talking scattered storms. We're talking about humidity. We're talking about highs right around 87 degrees. Then as we work our way into the weekend, we decrease the storm chances. It's just a stray storm on Saturday and Sunday, but we increase the temperatures as highs will be right around 90 for the weekend and then back up to 92 degrees, it looks like, Lauren, as we head into the day on Monday.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Let's take a look at traffic as you're heading out on the roads. If you're traveling on the east side at I-70 near Shadeland Avenue and also near the 465 ramps, keep in mind we do have some road construction in that area, and we do have an on-ramp closure westbound I-70 at I-465 and Shadeland Avenue. That's going to be closed until about 9 p.m. tonight as crews are working in that area, so keep that in mind. Also, we do have some another closure in that area at the Shadeland Avenue on-ramp, so just keep that in mind. Again, those closures set to last until 9 p.m. tonight. Raphael.
Coming up today on Good Morning America here on RTV6, it is day 2 of TJ Holmes' exclusive interview with Alex Trebek. Trebek opens up about his new memoir that's out today, and you won't believe who he thinks could fill his shoes one day hosting Jeopardy! That and much more coming up right here on RTV6.
All right, Raphael, if you can't get enough of those short videos on your TikTok app, get ready for more of them soon. Instagram says it is coming for the TikTok crowd.
So get ready with your ideas, Lauren, because Instagram is ready to launch something that they're calling Instagram Reels. What is it? Well, Reels will let you record and edit 15-second videos set to music and audio. You can upload those videos to your account. Facebook, which owns Instagram, has not given a launch date for the new feature. We'll have to wait and see, but today would be a good day to download the Storm Shield app and take Todd along with you, as the weather could change sometime this afternoon, Todd.
Yeah, always good to have the Storm Shield app downloaded. Even there's no threat, severe weather, you can check the interactive radar. Temperatures today with those storm chances top off in the mid-80s.
And we're back with more local news coming up. Have a great day.